Hello everyone, my name is Ronak and you're watching Vecto Art. So in today's video I'll show you how to redesign the boring looking calendar control in WPF into this newly designed or customized calendar control. So without any further ado, let's get started. Also, if you haven't subscribed to my channel, please do subscribe to my channel. So let's start first by creating a new project. And let's select WPF app with .NET framework. Here I'm using the Visual Studio Blend tool. Let's give this project a name and let's click on create. Now first things is let's zoom in and add the calendar control on the screen. So as you can see, this calendar control is nothing interesting. It's just a simple looking design. So we will customize it and make it look interesting. So this is the control and this is how it works. Now let's do one thing. Let's increase the size. So to increase the size, first let's click on the edit template and click on create a copy. Once you create a copy, let's select the items on the template and increase the size of the calendar item. Once you the size, you can select the temp. Okay, so that's done. We'll also change the background, so let's edit the current again, the template, and let's go to the background. You will see that you are not able to change the property because it is bound to a property in the code behind, so we'll have to reset it and then change the color. So here also you'll have to go and convert it to a local value and then remove the border brush. And for the foreground also let's do the same thing. We'll have to convert it to a local value and then change the color. We'll see that some of the changes have not reflected, and that will take care by changing the values in the XAML file. So now next, let's right click on the calendar and first click on the calendar button style and create a copy of it or edit the copy. Now you can see that it has 4 items within the grid. Before doing this, let's go to a different template. So additional templates, calendar button day style. So we are going to edit the calendar day button style. So it has these items inside the grid. Today's background, this is the background for the current date. So for that I am setting the color as red, and also I am changing the width and height of the button. Okay, and I will change the corner radius or the radius X and Y property to 15. 15 is too much. Let's reduce it to 10. Okay, so that's done. Now let's move on to the selected background. So what happens when you select a button or select a date? Even that has to have a radius of 10, and let's select a color of aqua. Okay, so that's done. Let's run the application once and see how it looks before proceeding to make other changes. So you can see that we have the look here. We have the selected date as red and the highlighted date in aqua. So let's next move on to the border. I think we need not change anything in the border section for now. Okay, so let's move on to the highlighted background. So when you hover over the dates, it has to have the same radius and the same color when you select a date. So let's select the same color and let's change the radius to 10. So you can see that we have the highlighted or mouse over color changing. Okay, so that is done. So okay, so what do we have next? So next, let's increase the size or width and height of the buttons to so that it occupies the entire black area or the calendar area that we have extended. So let's increase the button size, and okay, so this is the button size. And once I have done that, let me change the radius also. Since we have changed the button size, we'll have to change the radius to 15 for all the items: today's background, selected background, and highlighted background. So let's do that. Okay, so I think we are done here. Yeah, so this is done. Now let's move on to the other elements. So let's stop the application. Okay, go back to the window, and next we'll move to the other template, that is the calendar button style 1 template. Sorry, calendar item style template. So now I want to change this rectangle previous and next button into a circular button. So for that, let's edit a copy of the calendar item style 1 and select the button and change the width. Oh, sorry, before that, let's change the margin for both the previous and next button. Once that's done, let's try and change the foreground color of the header button, but it looks like it does not reflect the changes. So I think we'll have to change that from the um, code behind or the XAML. Here I am trying to change the size of the header button. Let's change it to 90. Okay, and let's leave the rest as it is for now. Let's change the border radius. So let's change the border radius. So for that, we'll have to scroll down and change the corner radius of this border element to 15. Let's try 15. Okay, so you can see that we have a corner radius, but we also see that there is a rectangular border, another border. So let's, for that, I think this thing doesn't work. We cannot change the border background color. We'll have to change the border brush for the second border. So the inner border, we'll have to change the background brush, and once you do that, it has disappeared. Now we'll focus on the previous button. So if you see the button bindings, if you see the template, it is bound to the previous button style, and if you scroll the XML document, you will see a style written for each of the buttons. So here in the previous button style, we will change the rectangle and the path geometry. So the path geometry is nothing but the triangle inside the button. So let's change the color of the triangle, and also let's change the radius of the rectangle. So let's set a radius of 5 and see how it reflects. So you can see that the rectangle has some slight round edges. Let's make it to 15. And if you see, because the width and height of the rectangle is not proportioned, so that's why it has a rounded rectangle look. So we'll have to change the width and height also for these buttons. So first let's go to the button and change the width and height to 30 pixels. Okay, once we have done that, you can see that the button has the rectangle button has changed into a ellipse button. Now we have to do one more thing, and that is we'll have to change the same width and height for the next button. And once that is done, let's go back to the path geometry of that button. The path geometry is nothing but the triangle inside the ellipse, and let's change the margin so that it appears at the center. So we have to do the same thing to the next button, and also we'll copy the radius for the next button as well. Once we are done copying, we'll have to change the margins for the next button path geometry, and also we'll have to change the fill of the path geometry. So after we do that, we see that the rectangle buttons have changed into a round button. Now let's move on to the header template style. And if you scroll down, you'll see that we have a content presenter, and in that content presenter we'll have to change the foreground to white. And also you can use the template text element property to set the other properties like font size. Here I'm setting the font size to 14. Since we have set the width of the button to 90, it is this font size is overflowing from the button width. So let's change the width of the button. So if you go down, we'll have to go and change the width to say 140. I think 140 will suffice. Yeah, so that's done. Now we have some other changes to make, like the days and also the day color for those days. So I will scroll up and let's try and find out where those styles are written in the XAML document. So okay. Let's try and change the value of this content presenter and see if it reflects, because I'm changing this because I can see that the foreground color is resembling the color of the elements for the days that appear on the calendar, like Sunday, Monday. So if you match the colors with the color that we have on the XAML, it is quite similar. So that is the reason I am trying to change this color, and I am trying to see if it is reflecting the same area. But no, changing that does not reflect it, so I think it is not that element. Okay, so let's stop the application and scroll, undo the changes that I've made for the content for the rectangle and the content presenter. Okay, I've done the changes. Let's scroll down a bit. And we have reached the day buttons, but Let's just change this content presenter, and you can see that all the days in the month, the color has changed to white. Now let's add one more property, that is the text element font size, and let's change the font size to 12, and now you see that the font size of the days have changed. So there's one more thing that has to be changed, is the days of the week. So we'll have to find that. Also we'll have to change the stroke um, to the same color as the highlighted color. So if you highlight and if you click on the button, you see that we have a border, a rectangular border. To change that, we have to change the color same as the highlighted color, which I have copied from the top, and also have to copy the radius and paste it for the last element. And now when you run the application, you will see that when you select the date, the border is also same as the highlighted color. So let's stop the application now. So there is only one thing that is remaining, is the days of the week. So let's try and find out that. And if we scroll the document further, let's start from the beginning. I have already reached the end of the document. So let's go back to the let's see other templates and see if we can find those days of the week section in those. I'm just going back uh, through the templates, the additional templates that we have. I'm always once I create or once I edit a copy, the next time that I visit, I always click on edit current, and not again. I don't click on edit a copy, because it will create a duplicate again. So only the first time when you edit a copy, and the second time you click on edit current. So I don't think it is there in these sections or in these templates. Let's try and find out. So here I think this is the section. So I just saw how we can change this. So if you go through the XAML file, if you scroll down, scroll from the top, you will find a text box which will display the days of the week. So I will scroll up. Let's scroll up. I know this might seem a bit confusing at first, but if you go through the XAML content, you will definitely understand by making tweaks and changes to the XAML file. So now, so even changing the content presenter did not make the change. Let's once try by running the application. Let's go back to the XAML and revert the changes back for the content presenter, and let's scroll down slowly. And yeah, so here we have the text block in the data template, and we see that it is the same color as we see in the screen. So now when I change it to white, the days of the week have also changed to white. Now all we have to do is change the color to a different color. For that, I will just go, I will split the screen, and now I will select the text block again. It went out of focus. Let's go back to the text block. Okay, so I found it. Yeah, so let's go to the foreground color and change it to light shade of yellow. And there you go, guys. Our boring looking calendar control is changed into a very interesting looking design. You can try out your own designs and play around with the styles. Hope you all liked watching this video. If you do, please do subscribe to my channel. So I will do a small minor adjustment to the grid. You can see that the grid looks quite skewed. So I'll go to the grid row definition. I'll reset it, and then I will change the height to 15 pixels and slowly increase it to see it in action. Let's change it to 40 for the first line, which is the days of the week, and the rest to 35. So let's change it to pixel and add the value 35. Yeah, let's copy that and paste it for all the rest of the rows except the first one. The first one is changed to 40. So after doing this, our grid is completely occupying the main grid or the root template. And now when you run the application, you can see this in action. So hope you all liked watching this video. Please do subscribe to my channel. It means a lot. Thank you, guys. Bye bye.